Time and time again, we hear that goal setting is an important component to a healthy life. We sit down and think about where we'd like to be in 3 months, a year, maybe 5, and we start writing down a list of generic, socially acceptable goals. I want a 4.0 GPA, I want to lose weight, I want to start my business, make a certain amount of money, etc. These goals, at face value, are non-controversial. And more importantly, we think at least we're showing some ambition and striving to accomplish something. But there's still something important missing. Why are you pursuing these goals? It's simple and perhaps a little cliche, but rarely do we actually ask ourselves why we do what we do and why we want what we want. We certainly don't want to end up in some sort of midlife crisis, suddenly aware of the fact that despite getting everything you wanted, it still wasn't what you needed. If we want to avoid an earth-shattering revelation when it's too late, we better learn about our own motivations while we still can. This video is sponsored by CuriosityStream. My number one favorite place to go when I'm in the mood for a good binge watch is CuriosityStream. CuriosityStream has thousands of streamable documentaries and non-fiction TV shows on topics like history, psychology, food, and even more. It features 35 collections of curated programs handpicked by experts with award-winning exclusives and originals. And don't worry about accessibility. You can stream to any device for viewing anytime, anywhere, and it even has smart TV if you prefer your documentaries on the big screen. Use code Sisyphus to sign up and get an entire year of CuriosityStream for just $15. As I've discussed in previous videos, one developing approach to understanding human motivation is self-determination theory. Backed by thousands of studies, self-determination suggests that humans require 3 basic psychological needs. For one, we need some sense of relatedness, a feeling of belonging, care, intimacy, and affiliation with other people. Secondly, we need to feel competent and have some confidence in our own abilities to master and carry through activities in our environment. Finally, and most importantly, we need to feel autonomous. We need to agree with our own behavior and feel like we are acting with volition. Basically, if these needs are the most fundamentally important things to focus on, we should shape our goals around them. Easy enough, but most of us don't naturally exist in environments that allow for these needs. For example, we may have grown up or currently live in a situation that offers us little autonomy, unable to truly make our own decisions and live the life we would like to pursue. Or perhaps we have high expectations placed upon us by ourselves or others. These expectations are so high that we rarely feel a sense of competence. Instead, we pretty much live in a constant state of feeling like we can't do anything right. And maybe you live in an environment of solitude, constantly alone, forever craving a sense of intimacy or even acknowledgement from anybody. The dangerous trouble behind what is called need thwarting, in which we fail to experience these basic needs, is that we can end up with corrupted goals. Because we have little autonomy, as in little freedom, we begin overcompensating in fantasy. We come to believe that an unbelievable amount of wealth will buy us freedom, and so we pursue making a fortune to finally feel free. Or, if you constantly feel incompetent, you might come to believe that only through fame will you finally feel like your talent has been recognized. You aspire to become a world-famous writer, or dancer, or singer, or athlete, awaiting the fame that will finally satisfy your need to feel like you can finally do something right. Or perhaps your loneliness drives you towards fantasies of popularity and attraction. You'll lose weight and get abs, and people will finally like you. You'll have a ridiculous amount of casual partners and never feel insecure about your own failings of intimacy. By striving for these ridiculous goals, we come to believe that we will finally be happy. In self-determination research, these goals are considered extrinsic. They are self-defense strategies used when the core needs of autonomy, relatedness, and competence are nowhere to be found. However, extrinsic goals are outward-based and outcome-based. They rely on the idea of making it, some sort of earthly salvation in which our lives are perfect because we have enough money and enough fame. But there's always more money to make, and there's the fact that not everyone will like you, and that somebody will always be better than you at something. Instead, research points to the benefits of pursuing intrinsic goals that are personally meaningful and fuel your core needs. They involve strengthening and creating relationships, both with individuals and one's community, They involve pursuing passions and values for their own sake, and not because they will produce fame and wealth. They involve personal growth, developing new skills, and experiencing new things. Sure, it might be a little trickier and at the same time less exciting than extrinsic goals, but maybe we should keep a few findings in mind. Specifically, extrinsic goals are correlated with negative mental health outcomes, including anxiety, depression, and narcissism. Overall, they tend to decrease happiness. Some have argued that this is because individuals with extrinsic goals are looking for happiness in things outside of themselves. More interestingly, pursuing intrinsic goals has been shown to be more effective at achieving extrinsic goals than simply pursuing extrinsic goals. A good example of this is Bill Gates, who stated that we never thought that we would make much money out of the thing, we just loved writing software. In conclusion, it's better to focus on the process than the outcome. This doesn't necessarily mean that any of the goals mentioned at the start need to be changed, but why we pursue them does. If one wants to lose weight to impress others, that's extrinsic, but if one wants to lose weight to feel healthier and better about themselves, to feel more energized, to enjoy the process of exercise, that's intrinsic. And more importantly, the latter person is more likely to achieve and benefit from this goal than the extrinsic former. Really think about why you're pursuing these goals. After all, life is too short to spend it trying to compensate for your shortcomings with ridiculous and unrealistic visions of fame and wealth.